Hey Pilates Party people, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Caroline and today we have a quick mat flow. And here on your mat, you don't need any other props or tools, just yourself. We'll go ahead and get started into our full body mat Pilates workout. So let's break dance it nice and long ways on your mat here. Soles of the feet are going to land and then slowly start to recline back nice and long. Head is nice and heavy onto the mat. The hands melt down towards the hips, palms facing down, and we'll walk those feet just under the knees. Soles of the feet land, pressing into the earth. We'll take a nice inhale, starting with that glute bridge. As you exhale, start to scoop the tail, imprint the lower spine, and lift it up into that glute bridge. The shoulders stay nice and heavy. The spine becomes nice and long. Keep that rib-hip connection at the front as you take an inhale. And as you exhale, slowly start to round the spine down towards the mat. Last to land is that tailbone goes nice and long between the toes. Inhale. Exhale, slowly rounding up. Lengthening through the front of the hips. Inhale, rib-hip connection at the front. Exhale to slowly melt down. Starting to articulate through the spine, the last to land is that tailbone goes long. Exhale, scoop the tail, imprint the lower spine, lifting up into that bridge. Inhale at the top. Exhale to melt down. That was our last one. This time as we draw into that bridge, we'll pause and stay. So as you exhale, same way we came up the last time, we'll roll it on up. This time we stay, we pause. Press the soles of the feet into the mat. Option to keep the hands right where they are by your side for a little bit more stabilization, or the hands can float onto the front of the hips. We'll take a nice inhale here. And as you exhale, stamp that left foot into the earth. Keep the hips nice and square, lifting the right leg to tabletop. Hike that right hip up. From here, we have our knee and our hip in alignment, and then we're gonna send the toes nice and long, extend to the front of the hip. Inhale, fold it back. 4, 3, exhale, inhale. Last one. Fold it back to tabletop position. Stamp the sole of the foot down, lift those hips sky high, keeping that rib-hip connection. And this time we keep the hips nice and square. Send it all on onto that right side, lifting that left leg. Reach and fold. Hike that left hip up. Pressing through the right sole of the foot. We feel those glutes. Last 3. Last 2, exhale. Inhale. Last 1, inhale. Stamp the sole of the foot. Lift those hips high. Option to reach those arms over the head here or over the chest. Plug those shoulders in. Press through the soles of the feet. Those hips lift up nice and high, rib-hip connection. Keep that rib-hip connection. The spine stays nice and long as you inhale, dip the hips halfway down. Exhale, we send them all the way up to the sky. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Lift the hips. Option to keep the arms nice and reaching as you round the spine down onto the mat, like laying a string of pearls onto that mat below you. And draw the knees into the chest. Once you land, well done. Now those glutes are already firing up. It's a nice quick workout here. So you're more than welcome to take a few more reps on either side, or otherwise we find our way into our core work. Drawing the legs to tabletop position, the hands crisscross behind the head, thumbs down the neck space. Rest the palms of the hands or the tops of the hands onto the mat below you. Elbows are out to the side in the peripherals. And as you exhale here, imprint the lower spine towards the mat. We'll keep it nice and imprinted. That just means the lower or lumbar spine melts into the mat, almost as if there's a blueberry under there, and we'll just squish that blueberry, keep it squished. As you exhale, keep swishing that blueberry, lifting the head, neck, and shoulders to look at those knees. Inhale to lower down. Exhale to lift it up. Inhale. Last 5. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. This time we'll lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Little pulses towards those knees. Option here to imagine there's a fuzzy peach under the chin, keeping enough space, a gentle nod of the chin, but not bowing the chin right up towards the chest. Just keeping a little bit of space. For 2. And the last one, melt it down, well done. Take those hands from behind the head. Reach them up to the sky, staying in that tabletop position with the legs, keeping that imprint of the lower spine. Squish that blueberry or re-squish that blueberry. We're going to extend opposites here. So opposite leg, that right leg, send it out, reaching the left arm. Draw back to center, other side, dead bug, reaching out and drawing in. And drawing in. Exhale. Inhale, draw back in. Exhale, reach it out. Inhale, draw back in. Last 4. Last 3. One more on either side. Last 2. Last 1. Option to keep alternating. Option to reach both legs, both arms, reach and draw back in. Check in on that nice draw of the lower spine towards the mat. That squish of that blueberry. Keep it there. Exhale. Inhale. Last 4. Last 3. 2. And 1. Drawing back in. Option to keep doing what you're doing. Maybe the single legs, maybe double leg. Option here to find a little bit of a chest lift. So as you exhale, instead of the arms reaching in opposition to the legs, they reach towards the back of your mat, reaching those arms, reaching those legs. Option for the head, neck, and shoulders to lift as well. Exhale. Inhale. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. And then lowering down, draw those knees into the chest, wrap those arms around, have a little sway from side to side. We'll come into a little bit more inner thigh work and then you are done and dusted. It's really quick, but it's nice and powerful. So from here, draw back to center, hands onto the backs of the thighs, take a nice exhale, lift the head, neck, and shoulders to look at those knees, and then press the thighs, press the knees away as you roll up to a seated position. All right, coming onto your side body, facing towards the camera. That lower hand is going to be just cradling the head here, and we're going to sweep those legs out nice and long in front of us. Taking that top leg, taking it right behind the lower leg. Then rolling the lower heel up to the sky, toes point down towards the mat. All right, from here, we're gonna take a nice inhale, and as you exhale, lift that heel up to the sky. Inhale, tap. Exhale, lift it up. Option for the hand to stay on that top hip or just out in front. Last 8. Last 7. Roll that heel up for 6. Last 5. Last 4. 3. 2. And 1. This time, we're gonna lift that leg up, point the toe, pull the knee in towards the chest, flex the foot, press it out. Point the toe, pull in, flex the foot, press out. Point and pull, flex and press. Keep breathing. Point and pull, flex and press. Keep going. Last 2. Flex and press. Last 1. Point and pull, flex and press. Draw that foot down. All right, reset, recenter. Roll that heel up, lifting the heel on the exhale. Little pulses at the top. Lift that heel a little higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Coming all the way over to the other side. Let's break dance it all the way around. All right, one more side and you are done and dusted. So cradle the head into the hand, legs go nice and long, just like it did on the other side. Take that top leg, take it behind, roll that bottom heel up, toes down. Option for the hand, wherever it feels good. Roll that top hip slightly forward and then lift, exhale. Inhale, tap. We're here for those 8. Last 7. 6. 5. 2. Last 1. Tap it down, lift up, point the toe, pull it in. Flex the foot, press it out. Point and pull, flex and press. That is that point. And pull, that flex, that press. Keep going here, keep breathing. Last 4, point and pull, flex and press. Last 3, point and pull, flex and press. Last 2. Last 1. All right, layer down. Whew. All right, we just have those pulses and you are done and dusted. So roll that heel up, lift that leg up. Little pulses at the top, rolling that top hip slightly forward. Beautiful, staying on that side body. We're here for 5. Last 4. Last 3. Last 2. And 1, lower down. Well done. Coming up, all the way up, finding your seated position. You're more than welcome to continue on your practice, but this is a short snippet, a little bit of a movement snack here. So with that being said, there are other classes, other explorations that you can do on your mat today. But for now, if this is all the time you have, I'm so glad you chose to spend it with me today. Thank you so much for practicing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.